is roof hopping, which I don't condone, nor AACF. They don't condone it either. I'm speaking on behalf of myself only. We used to do this a lot. We go and get on the roofs of different buildings, such as the hub. I've been on certain sections of the roof here. And the business building, when it first opened up, they've locked it down now, so you can try, but I don't know if you'll be able to get on different roofs now. That's my favorite thing to do.
I think my favorite thing to do would probably be eating good food with friends. Good friends, or any friends. Maybe Victorian era, just because life was simpler. Like, you just go to sleep when it's dark and wake up when it's light, and yeah, that's what I would think. Victorian era. And I wouldn't want to be a servant either. Yeah.
For lack of a better answer, because I don't want to go back to any other time period, I would want to go back to the time that Jesus walked the earth. This question is easy. Matthew 9:36 to 38, where it says, "And Jesus looked at the crowds, saw the crowds, had compassion on them, because they are harassed and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd. Then he says, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Therefore ask the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into the harvest field." Something like that. That's the verse God used to call me to full-time ministry, to be a full-time missionary, because one day, actually, I was walking down the steps here at the hub, and it was the first day of classes, and usually I'm in a rush, I'm kind of impatient, pushing people aside, saying, "Get out of my way, why are you so bad at walking?" But this time I walked down the main steps and I just paused, I looked around, and I had one of those moments where I saw the crowds, hundreds and thousands of students walking back and forth, and I just said, I spread out my arms like this and I said, "Let's win some students to Christ," with a smile on my face. And that's when I said, I want to do this. I want to tell people about Jesus for the rest of my life, full time.
My favorite passages, I have a lot, would be Romans 4:18-21. It says, "Against all hope, Abraham in hope believed, and so became the father of many nations, just as it had been said to him, so shall your offspring be." Without weakening in his faith, he faced the fact that his body was as good as dead, since he was about 100 years old, and that Sarah's womb was also dead. But he did not waver through unbelief regarding the promise of God, but was strengthened in his faith and gave glory to God, being fully persuaded that God had power to do what he had promised. And why I love this passage is because it's such a great picture of faith, that Abraham acknowledged his circumstances, that he and Sarah were like way beyond childbearing years, yet he acknowledged those circumstances, and he didn't let his faith waver, even though the circumstances seemed impossible, but he was fully persuaded that God could do it. So I think it's just a great picture of faith, and I guess it's just an example of faith and how I would want my faith to be. At my senior banquet, when I was graduating, I had Daphne's small group, Daphne and Sharon and Kathy and Christine and Tabby, did a performance, and then especially, I guess I remember especially the part where they made up a dance to one of the S Club 7 songs, and it was just really funny, and I was really touched that they would spend so much time to make me feel loved by imitating me and making fun of me, but in a loving manner. It was really encouraging, and I was touched that they would spend so much time and effort on it. So.
My junior year, 21st birthday, bunch of AACF people, I remember Solomon Shin playing that, so if you're watching the Solomon, thanks. I took me and my sister to Pickles downtown, bought us our first drink, and then I'm usually pretty smart and aware of these things, but that day I was just completely oblivious. Then he somehow led us to someone's apartment, and then opened the door and everybody's in there. It's just all my friends, a lot of AACF people, and it was a very special, memorable moment where I felt loved, cared for, and felt very special, celebrating my 21st birthday with lots of good friends.
Seeing Jesus at the end when I die, or if he comes back before I die, I think that that's really exciting to me, just thinking of how there won't be any more tears or hurt or anger or any of those things, and that we'd be finally free from our sinful nature and just be free to fully see who God is and what he's like, and just spend all the time with him. Sounds pretty awesome to me.
I'm looking forward to most being leading a team of 3 guys, so 4 of us total next year in East Asia. I'm looking forward to being dropped behind enemy lines, 4 of us, like the Special Forces, like the Green Berets, in a foreign land, in a foreign country with hostiles all around. Not really, but that's what I like to think. Just land there, set up shop, decode the area, do some recon, get our tools, get our weapons, we're armed and ready with the gospel, and then we just go out like a team, like a special.
My advice would be to encourage you to live life in light of eternity. And what that means is thinking of living life in reality of how our 70 or some years here on earth are just a brief glimmer of a moment as compared to eternity, and just living life in light of the fact that, in light of the fate of people if they don't believe in Jesus, or if they never hear the gospel, like what will happen to them and things like that, and using our time in light of that, investing in eternal things rather than temporal things or things on earth. There's one quote that is quoted by John Piper in Don't Waste Your Life that says, "The men who are putting everything into Christ's undertaking are getting out of life its sweetest and most priceless rewards." And I guess I'd really want to encourage you to live life in light of eternity, and be able to experience those priceless rewards and the sweetest rewards that come from investing in eternal things. Just like it says in Matthew 6, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So I encourage you to invest in eternal things. Oh, and with that, 2 other things, parting advice. One, it'd be to go on summer projects. So there's still the Rebuild Japan project, which the deadline is May 10th, so you can still get on that. And then second, become an intern, because you just really learn a lot more about God and about who you are and how he's created you, and also you get to be a part of what he's doing wherever you go. So, summer project and intern. Those are my last 2 bits of parting advice.
But my advice would be, learn how to study smarter, not harder. You give me 20 hours to do something, I'll take 20 hours. But if you give me 8 hours to do something, I'm going to take 8 hours to do that same thing. So the point there is, on the weekends and stuff, don't even try studying on Saturday and Friday night, because it's just pointless. It's pointless, not going to get it done. Instead, cram it in on Sunday, and you're good. I guess the message is work hard, play hard, because you all need rest too. You can't just work 7 days a week. But if you learn how to work and study smartly, you're in the zone, then you'll have time to play and relax at nights and on weekends. Some other advice, keep reaching out. Keep reaching out. AACF is much more than a club, much more than a club. There are so many on this campus. Keep reaching out, never stop. Otherwise, AACF is just another club on campus, but we're much more than that. So, that's some of my advice. You can take it or leave it.